I guess it's time for the meat rod. Bless you, man. Bless you, man. It's time for the meat rod to come down with Rev Filo. You know, we over here just hanging out, drinking a couple of brewskis. It's that time of the morning, you know. Hey, Filo, you better make sure this bar doesn't spill any more beer yet, man. You know it's me. I've been hiding under the couch this whole time, man. I know y'all noticed me. But let me tell you something. Today, boys, you're gonna have somebody come in here that's even better than me. I'm just a crazy old piece of meat. Oh, yeah, man, that shirt is tacky.
Okay. You got yours on?
Yes, mine.
Is it recording?
Not yet. You record?
Yeah, I'm recording already. So is Jrat. Okay, we gotta do the clap. You gotta put your hands up in front of your face. Higher, or move them to the. Yeah, so I can see them. Not you, just Jrat. I'm looking at you. Just get them in the front. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, cool. That fuck. You don't even know how easy that makes. That makes the working the.
Fuck yeah. I know how fucking easy that is.
I don't, but I'm gonna.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rev Filo show.
Hello.
We have a special third party with us today. I know it's been a while since we had anyone on, but our good friend Jrat.
Yes.
Jrat.
What up, y'all? Good to be here.
You see him in the info section. It says music and art by Jrat Monster. I don't know if you know that, but I always put that in the when I post the videos.
Oh, I noticed it.
You noticed
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
You know,
you're
I
looking
like to give you your props. You were at the show, the Rev Filo show. Remember we talked about that a couple shows back?
Man, you
I don't know if you saw that show. Yeah, but we were singing your praises.
Yeah, man. I felt the love. It was dope.
Actually, you know what's funny? Because we had the lights, and we had bought the light system, right? And he was telling me that you told him that
no,
that they were kind of blinding you, like when they would turn white, that you couldn't see anything.
No, he rapped that, or he added to you were in the middle of your rap or in the middle of your set. He said that in the middle of his performance.
Oh, that the lights were blinding me?
Yeah.
Could you see the crowd?
Oh, you know what? I couldn't see how big the crowd was. I could see the people that were in the front.
Right.
And then it wasn't until the other videos that I saw that I was like, oh shit, that was a lot.
No, it's just because I was gonna say when he told me that oh yeah, Jrat mentioned that the lights were blind, they were making it hard for him to see. When you were performing, I was in the back. We had the light control in the back with Garibaldi, and and I was in the back, and I was all drunk, and I was moving the fader up and down.
Oh, you were doing it.
That was me, bro. I was like,
so you're the one that almost gave me a seizure.
Yeah, dude. I was trying to go with the beats and shit, moving up the fader, because it would go from it had a rainbow not like rainbow, but red and blue.
You know what's funny?
And then it would go to pure white.
Yeah.
And it would go back and forth. I was like, I was all drunk in the back,
That's tight. Hey, fuck. I didn't know that.
There were times
I know that. Because when he told me
work.
that, he was like, yeah, Jrat said he wasn't able to see and that the lights were fucking with him. I was all like, ooh. Ooh.
Nah, it wasn't that bad like that.
Yeah. No, I was just wondering.
One thing that was kind of that was a little difficult was the mic cable.
Was it too short?
That's right.
Yeah, it didn't reach the front of the stage.
Yeah.
And then the homie Menace, he and I would get intertwined with each other's mics.
Was that who? Okay, that was the one on stage with you?
Yeah,
okay,
homie Menace.
Cool. Shout out, homie Menace.
Yeah, Menace one. The Rat Face Menace, that's a group that he and I become.
Was that who performed that night? Was that considered the Rat Face Menace?
We did some of the songs off of the Rat Face Menace album, yeah.
Oh, okay, for sure.
Is that album out?
Yeah, that album's out. We dropped that in 2015, so it was on Spotify for a few years, and then I don't know. I think now you could just find it on Bandcamp or
Oh, it's not on Spotify anymore?
I don't think it is.
When did you upload?
Maybe one or two songs from that album, the singles, but I don't think the.
When did you upload it? When was it first uploaded to Spotify?
2015.
Oh, okay.
And then the homie Menace, he took care of most of that. With the I didn't even really know how to go, to monetize the music. I didn't really know the steps to it and how simple it is and shit like
Right.
with websites and shit like that.
For sure.
So yeah, but
Yeah, I was talking to someone yesterday, and I was saying how like people like in our age group, like early 30s, and even not so much late 20s, but like even no more so now, like early to mid 30s is like, we kind of grew up on like CDs. We were still buying CDs and this and that, and then like,
well, I grew up on tapes.
And then on tapes, but
Yeah.
even still, like I think like we grew up sort of looking at the music business as like a certain way, and then because of the internet, there was like this massive transition, and I think like I think people like me and you were just a little behind the curve because we are, you know what I'm saying? Like as
Yeah.
opposed to someone born in the late 90s or even early 2000s who understands technology a lot better because they're introduced to it a lot younger. So they, you know what I'm saying?
I feel you on that.
So I think a lot of musicians in our age group kind of had a hard time like finding their feet because they're like, wait a minute, like no one's buying CDs anymore. How do I make money?
Right.
Isn't that like that's kind of like the story of the ice pickers, right? You ever heard that story?
No, I never heard
So
that.
before the refrigerator was made, there was these
Uh-huh.
group of men that they would usually go up and pick the ice from the mountains and then bring it down, and people would use that for their like as a refrigerator to cool their stuff like milk or
Right.
whatever they needed.
I guess.
And
I guess
then-
that was the only way to get ice, huh?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
had to go to fucking
Yeah.
that.
like the movie Frozen,
Yeah.
they that's what the I guess the love interest to one of the girls.
He's an ice picker.
Yeah, he's an ice picker.
Oh.
The one with the reindeer. Well, anyway, once the refrigerator was invented, a lot of these guys, they went unemployed. They didn't know anything else.
Right.
And a lot of
They
the guys
just
that were
picked
older
ice.
already,
Uh-huh.
they kind of just didn't know what to do.
Right.
But some of them transitioned into like fixing refrigerators and learning how to work.
Right. Yeah.
Still
Yeah.
evolving with the
For sure.
with the business
Yeah.
of ice, like a refrigeration and
Yeah.
shit.
It's funny. That reminds me of a Simpsons joke where they show these fools and they're like on a mad expedition and they're getting ice.
Yeah.
And they're just getting ice. And then they get it and then they bag it and then they take it and they take it to the Quickie Mart.
Yeah.
And then he goes, the ice picker tells Apu, you got to start selling this for more than $1 a bag. We lost 3 men on this mission. And then he goes, if you could think of an easier way to get ice, I'd like to see it. And then, oh my God, dude. And it actually kind of makes sense now because I always thought like, well, just put it in the freezer. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was the joke. But I guess ice pickers were real. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Or like the milkman. The milkman.
Oh yeah, that's right.
There's companies now that they still have. Like,
They still have milkmen?
Yeah, they have
Yeah,
milk
they'll
delivery services.
deliver.
What about the newspaper boy? Like a paper route?
They still have those.
They still have those?
Yeah, they still have.
They're
now
not,
though,
they're not boys though. They're
Yeah,
like
they-
fucking grown people.
Yeah,
yeah, like usually in like vans and just throw the
Yeah.
fucking. Sometimes they won't even like if they'll throw it at the wrong house and they'll just fucking like fuck it.
You know what I used to what I used to have when I was growing up over there in Boyle Heights when I was a little kid. There used to be the Eggman, and he would drive.
Eggman.
He was an Eggman, and like the ice cream man, he would like go through the blocks, slowly. But he had a van. He had like a more and and he would go, huevos, huevos, early in the morning, like 6 a.m. In the morning, huevos. He also sold eggs and he sold oranges. So he would go, huevo, 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 and they would just
all morning, like in the morning.
yeah, in the morning, early in the morning, people would come
And
out and
there's
buy
people
eggs
waking
from him.
up like,
yeah,
eggs.
people would wake up and
Oranges.
You know, like
and it was like a farmland.
man, I'm pretty sure we all know of the early morning tamale lady.
sure.
Tamales.
Tamales y
I didn't see that as much on my
champurrado.
street, but
Oh man, in South Central, you had
yeah.
trucks and fucking people selling shit.
But would they
all
walk
day,
through
random-
the streets, or
Yeah.
you would have to go to them?
Nah, like so it all depends. Like I know there's a ice cream truck.
Real quick, you want to light that real quick? Maybe.
Yeah, that's fine.
The incense.
Yeah.
Huh? Oh yeah.
Yeah, just get.
So there's an ice cream truck. Obviously, there's a fucking there's a bread truck. So it's like a van it's just full of bread and shit. They come through and they have like a horn, and it's more like a little
Yeah.
kind of fucking
Yeah,
horn.
yeah.
And then there used to be produce trucks too and shit. I remember back growing up, there would be a truck that would just pull up and drive down the block slowly. And then all on the outside, it was like a little fucking, like a market. Like they had the fruit and all kinds of shit in baskets.
Yeah, Lewis told me about that. That there's like a truck that goes by and they have like market goods or like shit you can buy at 99-cent stores.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's called a produce truck.
I never seen that.
Yeah,
I never seen that
They
either.
used to fucking roll around. I mean, well, Lewis lives like right down the street from me. So
Right. What about the ice cream man?
The ice cream man in South Central, them motherfuckers be rolling around till like 10:30 at night. In the summertime,
Yeah,
they be out late.
Those
Like,
were the days.
Shit,
I
dude.
go to like my family's house, like fucking Riverside and shit.
Uh-huh.
There's no fucking ice cream truck.
Dude, here.
Oh, for sure. Even like I remember, like I was living in Boyle Heights, right? And like the ice cream man, I mean, especially in the summertime, sometimes you would get like 3-4 ice cream trucks at one time on the block, just like coming and like now they're in competition. It's like death race and shit.
Dude, it's funny because here when we first moved here, there was an ice cream truck that would come by, but they would never make the left turn out here. Yeah, dude. And then one time we caught it, me, Ethan, and Ash, and we're like, hey, and we're like waving it down, hey, and she like saw us and she like sped up, like I was like, what
She's
the
like
fuck?
business.
Yeah. No, she didn't. She
rolled away.
Yeah, she rolled away.
Oh, she bounced out.
Yeah, dude. And I looked at, and then Ethan was like, "What?" And he was sad, and he gave me this face, and I was like, "Fuck." That's why. So I took him to the gas station out here to get ice cream. But anyway, when I looked at him, and he asked me, "Why didn't she stop?" Like, and I looked at him, I was like, "You know what, Ethan? I don't know, but fuck that ice cream truck. Let's go.
Yeah, let's just go hit the ice cream shop."
Yeah.
That's probably what I would have said too.
What I was gonna say was, like when we moved over to Monterey Park, which is like just one town over, it's like not that far. There was no ice cream man, and being a kid, you're like, well, where's the ice cream man, right? Like, and it was kind of like that was kind of like a deal breaker, like it really bummed you out, And then I remember one time, because where we lived in Monterey Park is a lot of hills, and where we lived like off a hill, like we lived in like this cul-de-sac that was like off a hill.
Where'd you say it?
This is an MPK.
Okay.
Not where my parents live now, in a different house.
All right.
And I remember one time we're sitting, it's like the evening, like dinner time or whatever, and we're sitting there, and it might even be in the summertime, so the windows were open, and we're sitting there, and you hear the ice cream.
Oh, like in the midst?
Distance.
Yeah,
like in the distance. And I was like, oh, like ice cream, like that, ice cream truck. It's like something like 8 o'clock at night. And we're like, whoa. And then we're like, well, where is it? Because you could hear echoing throughout the neighborhood, but you don't know what block it's on.
So now you guys are outside,
yeah, we're
just waiting.
We're like fucking hunters. We got the dog out and shit, the bloodhound.
You had an old ice cream.
Your dad, he's carrying one of those those gas lamps.
It's all like Pinocchio. And then so we're like, and then I remember like I said, we lived on a cul-de-sac that was off of a hill, so we were on a hill, and then so, and sure enough, we see this ice cream truck, just trucking the hills, it's like barely making it,
putting up the hill,
backfiring and shit, the smoke coming out of the back, and
and you guys are walking right through it. Just
yeah, we're like, when, and I remember we didn't even it just drove by all sad, and we just kind of
you were just like, fuck that.
We're like, all right, and we never saw an ice cream man ever again to this day.
Nah,
in MPK in Monterey Park.
Around my house, I feel like the motherfucking ice cream truck drivers, they know where the kids live.
For sure.
And so that motherfucker be coming to my house, and he'll post up, right outside the house, bump that shit, full blast the ice cream truck music, and my son goes crazy. He's like, ice cream, because he's just, like you said, every little kid. You were like that. We were all like that. As soon as they hear that little jingle, they're like, boom, they could be doing anything.
Not just ice cream
drop
trucks.
the shit, run to the door, and just
yeah,
stand there with that little sad ass look. Come on, give me some ice cream. Like,
I remember when being a kid, on the street where I would have the ice cream man. I was usually live with my grandparents, and or I would be there after school or whatever. And you would hear the ice cream, and we didn't have I didn't carry money, I'd have to ask my grandma for money or something. So and my grandma, God rest her soul, she always gave me. She never said no. to any request. Anything we asked, she would do it. She would give, and so we would run out like, oh, and this was my parents were around, like guaranteed, like I would get anything I wanted, like, yeah, anything. It was a yes, like a yes house, but not just for me, like for all. We were all were running around, like me and my cousins and shit. And we would run out and see the ice cream man and be like, Grandma! We'd like scream from the from the front porch, Grandma, dollar!
Throw your bikes down.
Yeah, and then she'd look. She'd be from the kitchen. She'd like look. She'd be like, tell her, okay, I'm going to get my purse. Tell her to stop. And we'd be like, stop!
Hey!
Ah! Man, it was like the most important thing in the world, dude.
There's, like the guys that walk around with the cart.
Oh yeah,
and
with the little bell, the little
dude.
ding, 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 ding.
Those motherfuckers always
the
get us
paleteros
at my grandma's house in Lincoln Heights. Every time we would have a barbecue or they see a party, they would just stop right there at the driveway because
who would do this?
The paletero guys.
Oh
the ones with the cart.
Man. Supply and demand.
Yeah,
you gotta go where there's traffic.
But they'll stand there and then they'll just keep ring, and then and they'll wait for the kids, and then all the kids get all hyped. And now,
out.
And it always takes one uncle to be like, all right.
Yeah, I was gonna say that one tío.
Yeah,
he buys one, and all the other.
all the other kids come. So now he feels obligated to buy all these other kids. Yeah, and then I remember one time they were doing it, and Ash was there, where she was like, "Oh, go buy Ethan ice cream." I go, "Fuck that! You see all these fucking cousins we got right here?" Nope,
no,
not doing it.
Way.
Like, you know what? Let's walk to the fucking Rite Aid, buy a little box of fucking ice creams, and then give them that shit.
You know what I always thought was cool was the Raspado man.
The Raspado guy?
Yeah, and they had the big block of ice, and they would have that shaver, and they would
the
just
metal one.
Oh yeah.
I always thought that was cool as fuck for some reason.
Yeah, that shit is cool. You
That's
know
old school
what's
shit.
funny is like there's my bad. Go ahead.
No, just like you could still find those fools like at the park and like cross street from elementary schools and shit.
Yeah, there's one that stops right here in front of Ethan's school, like after school. He'll stay there. Sometimes we catch him because Ethan gets out a little bit later than the other kids, because he stays for an after school program. But anyway, sometimes we'll catch him out there, and he just chills right there in the front. And every school does that shit. Or there's a school that has like that one designated Raspado man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kick all the other guys out.
Yeah.
Or like no parents support the other guys. They're like, now.
Speaking of like street food or street vendors, the Avenue 26, we went last night. That shit was bomb.
Right.
Have you ever been there?
The tacos?
Yeah, taco spot.
Yeah.
Over there where's it at? Highland Park or?
No, it's Lincoln Heights.
Heights.
It's like Lincoln
Borderline?
Heights, Cypress.
Yeah.
Is it off of Fig?
I think it is off of Fig.
Off
the 5.
It's like down. It's like right there where the 110s. I don't know that.
Yeah. I
right
think
there.
it's by. Is it by like the Ralphs or some shit? Like there's a.
I'm
market?
not sure. You
No.
Felipe drove, so
No,
I don't even know.
it's by there's the goal line is right there. There's an exit for the goal line. I think it's on Fig. It's like right before Fig.
Yeah. I know exactly. It's by the McDonald's.
Yeah. Before that though.
Uh-huh.
Before that, like where the Jax is at, right there on the I think Cinco Puntos.
Oh,
right
okay. I know where.
yeah, right there. It's hidden now.
It might still be
it used to be. They
Those-
used to be right there on the street.
Mm-hmm.
And
This is the Avenue 26 spot?
Avenue 26.
Okay.
Yeah, and it got so popular. I remember there was.
Well, what
always,
was
like,
weird is that the whole street was like shut down.
Okay, yeah. No, let me get to that.
Yeah.
So the street, it used to be on that one street. I don't even know the name of the street. I guess it's Avenue 26.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, they used to be like right on the sidewalk, like right before we made that turn. You remember how we made in there where it gets all industrial?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So they used to be on the street, but then they were so popular after Dodger games, especially.
Uh-huh.
Somebody called the cops and said that they were selling drugs there.
Oh,
And then,
bullshit.
Nice.
then not only did that, a lot of people think that was an excuse to get these fools on, like to check their papers that they called for.
Oh,
ICE.
really?
Yeah.
Bullshit.
So they were
Motherfuckers.
like fucking with them. So then eventually they just moved over to where they're at now. So now you have to drive in and yeah. So but I mean, they're still
Why do
there.
people target Mexican street vendors? Why is that? I feel like they're the only ones that get fucked with.
I mean, think about it, man. Maybe their competition could have been like, you know what? Fuck.
Oh,
these fools.
shit. Straight
Yeah.
competition?
Yeah.
I think-
That makes sense. Because I was thinking, like, from a consumer standpoint, like,
Yeah.
if someone from a different ethnic background of mine suddenly just set up around the corner from my house and started peddling out the bombest of their, like, food from their country, and the last thing I would do, and it's bomb, the last thing I would
Right.
do is get rid of them, you know?
Right, yeah.
Right, because you're not
Yeah.
racist, and a lot
Yeah,
of
I
these
guess
things
so.
they derive from like a racist point of view or
guess
feelings
so.
and shit,
Or just straight money, you know?
and money. You know, it could be either or both.
I mean,
Yeah.
that incident I think it probably could have been competition. Because did you see how many people are there now?
So bomb.
The churros and all that, like they're piggybacking off of the clout that Avenue 26 tacos had. So you have like, remember we said it looks like a fucking swap meet, dude.
Yeah, we walked in. I was like, this looks like it's like a street fair that's like getting ready to shut down. You know, like, and like I like their setup. Like they have this long, almost like a, they have like a line cook. So it's almost like geez, whoa, like a 15-foot like grill or something.
Yeah,
and they have, like,
you know what it looks.
Seven guys on it, just like.
And it's outside.
Outside. It reminds me of like those food banks. Like you go in there. To, like, to get your food, and they got a line, and it's like efficient enough to get people through. Like they're just trying to get.
But
the
it's
food.
like a steady, constant long line.
And like normally I like there's two spots I like to go to that are not Avenue 26, which are by my house. Rico's, that's the truck by my pad, and then 7th and Soto. That's not what it's called, but if they're on 7th and Soto, that's the street.
Well, Avenue 26 Tacos is not what it's called either.
Right.
That's what you guys called it.
So what I like about those is that not only do they give you like the meat, but they give you, it's already like did up. There's already onions. There's already cilantro. It's already there. Like it's prepared, ready to go. Yeah. And I don't normally. And same with Rico's. They got your shit all ready to go. They don't have sauce outside or anything. It's ready to go when you get it. For some reason, I like that. I don't really like when you have to like
put your own shit.
Put your own shit.
I'm the opposite.
Because like I'm like I don't know, like now I have to try all the sauces and like find out which one I like.
So you just want it to be given to you.
Yeah,
like,
I trust their opinion. They're professional cooks.
Hey, you know what though? That's good. You know, you're not picky. You're like, you know what? I'm gonna go to the spot that's good.
Right.
I trust that it's good.
Yeah, I'm not a fucking. You should see my kitchen, fucking untouched.
So when it comes to tacos, right? There's this spot that is right off of the freeway, and they sell the best tacos al pastor. It's like it's a lunch favorite truck right off of the freeway on Vernon, off the 110 freeway.
Damn, you're gonna have to take us.
It's been man, we gotta go, man. Before they used to have the meat, spinning with the pineapple on top and shit. And then the foods have like a technique. It's like, get into.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
It's like this little craft. Like this fool's like cuts the meat, then he spins it, then he fucking cuts it.
Is that?
Then he flicks the fucking little piece of pineapple and like catches it like all far. Like,
it's like a circus act.
Is that
It's like a Cirque du Soleil act.
Yeah, because I noticed a lot of people that have the al pastor like that out. That's the way they'll cut it, unless it's like Avenue 26. For Avenue 26, they have like all the meats already served up in the metal tray, like just getting warm,
just prepared already.
So, but they'll cut it off, but they won't do all that shit because they're not making the tacos in front of you like that. They just have all the meat, and you just order. Oh, I want that, and they'll put it on your fucking taco. But like, there's a taco truck right there on. It's like Alvarado, like down Temple, right there by the car wash over there in Echo Park. They do that. Like, they have a truck right there, but you could see the guy inside. And I don't know if he's doing it for show because you can't look at. I mean, unless you're looking in the truck, right? Like it doesn't make sense for him to do this. But but like he'll do the same thing. He'll cut it and then like catch it and then like cut the fucking pineapple and catch it. Yeah,
then, it's a skill, dude. It's like the raspado guy you said.
Like there was like a rhythm to it. It's like, you know.
It's like the beginning of a cumbia song. Like, it's a skill to this shit.
The motherfucker pops out with a little 3-string guitar. Oh my god, that's fucking funny. No, what I was gonna say about the whole, I don't like when you have to like put your own, do up your own taco. Yeah. For some reason at the Avenue 26 spot.
Get your taco did.
What you doing? I'm getting my taco did.
I'm doing my tacos. That's cold. Like, I wish I could. I had to do my own tacos last night. Like.
They did my taco for me.
But they for some reason they're set up I like because they only had two sauces. They had the guac. And then they had the guac sauce,
the watery
guac sauce, right? And then the roja, the salsa roja. I always go for the red, so I just do the red on. Oh man, that shit was bomb.
Did you try the guac?
I didn't. You told me it was spicy as fuck.
Man, it had a good kick to it.
And really good. The red had me already going. I was already sweating and shit.
This is another thing that like. I don't give a fuck where if they come prepared or if I have to prepare it myself and shit. But the thing that I don't like about the shit, all the condiments and fixings being on the outside, is because I've seen motherfuckers like get shit and they're like coughing up a storm, sick as fuck. You know, they probably on their second taco and shit, sweating like a motherfucker, and they go in and get some salsa and a little sweat drips in. You know what I mean?
I didn't even think about that.
You can't control that shit.
Okay,
I don't want to fucking think about that.
Even more reason to not fucking, have them just ready to go when they serve you.
You know what though? That shit could happen in a taco truck.
It's the same shit. It's hot in there too.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what's funny? There was a time I used to go to a music school in Pasadena, and I was studying music. Anyways, there was a taco truck down the street, and like all the kids at the school, they're like college students, right? So they're all broke, right? So the truck, they had the same deal. They had all the sauces and the onions and everything like out for you to just get.
I already know what this is.
But this is what they had. They also had beans. Like frijoles ready, and you put also
outside
right there, like you were spoon ready to go. So these kids, you'd order a burrito, $5. You'd order a couple tacos or whatever, and then the kids would just fucking complimentary beans, just like it's piled and play with.
Then you
beans,
can't forget the roasted cebolla too.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
The onions.
Oh, Avenue 26, they got a fried potato you can get for free, like a little.
They had the what did you say?
Cebolla.
Cebolla. They had that there too. I saw it in like a little
cebollitas,
thing.
like
they're like not caramelized, but they're like I don't know how the fuck they make. Are they caramelized?
Yeah, they're caramelized.
Yeah, they just make them like in the grease, right? No.
Yeah, they just fry them up a little bit to caramelize, but then not too much.
Yeah, not too much. They do that at 7th and Soto spot. They give you ask them for it. Just be like, oh, cebolla. They'll give you a little thing.
Now, have you guys ever fucked with tacos de birria? That shit.
Oh man, Sammy's dad so far. It's been the best birria that I've ever had.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah? He took you to some spot?
No. He made it. He made it, dude. Oh, man. It's actually Sammy's dad, his tacos are the shit, dude.
Man.
They're bomb, dude. I remember he invited us a couple times. I think so far I tried it 3 times. And his meat, dude, the meat that he cooks, I don't know what he puts in it, like the lemon for sure, but however he marinates the carne asada,
yeah,
fucking good, dude. And then he emulated he makes this green salsa from scratch, and that shit's bomb too. But what Sammy told me, the reason why he made it was he loves the one from King Taco.
Oh,
yeah, and he asked them like, oh, can I buy whatever? And they're like, oh no, we don't sell it like that. If you want, you have to get the small cups. Yeah, the small cups. And so he goes, oh, okay, well, can you what do you guys put in it? And they're like, no, they didn't want to tell him.
Wait, this was the marinade?
No,
the salsa.
The salsa.
Oh, the red sauce.
Yeah, the green one.
The green one.
So he asked him what do you guys put in it? Like obviously he knows there's lemon in it because it's very
Also, there's a lot of garlic in it. No, wait, I'm thinking of the red. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of the red.
So
it's like tomatillo.
Yeah. So what Sammy's dad ended up doing was he just did it by taste and he created his own salsa.
Nice.
And
which is arguably
dude.
Better.
Yeah, dude. Oh, way better.
Because now he doesn't have to worry about getting a cease and desist from fucking from King Taco.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's no way to prove that that's the same fucking recipe because he's not mass producing it.
Also too, and this is actually a funny story with the salsa stuff. So Sammy's dad apparently loves making salsas. So he entered into a contest, and so Sammy tells me, and we're just offhand, we're working, and Sammy's telling me, oh yeah, my dad won a second prize in the salsa competition.
You thought it was
so I'm like, oh damn, I didn't know, like that's dope. And I never said anything.
You thought he had moves.
No, so I never said anything. And then he invited me in for dinner, right? So I took him home or whatever. So his mom was like, oh, you want to have dinner with us? I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm eating, and they have this. They gave me some pork chops. Man, his dad gets down with cooking though. Like it was so fucking bomb.
Damn, all beast.
And then so we're eating there, and I see the trophy, but it doesn't look like it just has like a guy on it, and it's like second place, whatever. So I look at it, I'm like, oh, that's the trophy your dad won for dancing, huh? And then
wait, so it just said
Sammy was
salsa.
Yeah,
it didn't have like a guy
no,
like holding a spoon or something?
No, it was
like
just
a
like
big pot?
it was just like a guy like standing. I forgot how it looks exactly, but I remember it was just like a dude that was standing there like in some kind of motion. And
like,
yeah, dude.
That shit looked like he was dancing.
Yeah,
like.
So I look over at Sammy and everybody's sitting there, and his sister, his I don't remember if his niece was there, but I know we were eating, and then and I look, I was like, oh, that's
the
trophy.
dancing competition.
Yeah, no, I told him that's a salsa competition trophy you won. He's like, yeah. I was like, man, I didn't know your dad was such a good dancer.
And I started busting out.
Yeah, dude, they all started laughing. Like, no, man, the salsa, the chile.
Yeah. Oh my god, I'm sure they love that.
That's hilarious. That is fucking funny, dude.
Hey, man.
Hey, but if you can make a bomb salsa, that shit makes or breaks the spot.
Shit.
Because I mean, like a taco is kind of like, essentially it's the same shit. Just depends on the choice of fucking meat that you use, right? Yeah. And it also depends on the tortilla. But that salsa though, if the salsa is fucking bomb, like I like fucking King Taco because of the salsa roja.
Yeah, I love that red shit. But it's so hot, but it's so tasty.
It's bomb though. It's
so
bomb.
tasty.
But is the fucking, do I think that there's better fucking taco spots out there?
Oh, of course.
And
you know what though?
But I only go back because of the fucking salsa. Like I don't even want tacos. I want fucking salsa.
You know what though? I used to be kind of like anti King Taco. Like I was like kind of like their red sauce is bomb, but honestly like their food's kind of bland. If you don't put red sauce on it and you just try to eat it, it was kind of bland. But I would always get like burritos, quesadillas. But one day I just went and had a taco. I was like, well, they are called King Taco. Like they delivered on that taco. Like the tacos are pretty good. I mean, the only thing is that they're like what, $170. That's a little pricey for a street taco.
The asada taco from King Taco is probably the I wouldn't say the best, but they do marinate that shit really good with lemon.
With lemon, because they don't give lemon.
Yeah.
And that's because a long ass time ago, like when we first started going there, and fucking I'm talking about like the fucking late 80s or the 90s or some shit, like they used to be like, nah, we don't have lemon, like it's already marinated with lemon. And so they really got famous for the tacos al pastor though. They were like the first ones, I think, to bring tacos al pastor to LA and shit. Like if I remember correctly and shit, like that's how they got like their big fucking.
Oh really? Kind of like Knoxbury Farm like invented boysenberry.
Yeah.
And they made it like.
Oh yeah, I just found that out too from Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah.
Speaking of tacos,
we've been talking about
it's like Coca-Cola made Christmas.
We've been talking about tacos for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'll let you guys know that.
Well, I was gonna say on our Instagram, just give a little shout out to Asada Chicali. Remember the hot dog, the
hot dog spot,
yeah. So they make tacos like breakfast tacos, all kinds of tacos. You can check it out on our Instagram; they're on there. Just want to give them a shout out. We got to go try them out. I've been wanting. We tried out the Cachanilla hot dogs.
Yeah, and those shits were bomb.
Yeah, those shits were bomb. Those are really good.
I gotta go, man. One of these days, man.
And they're like local. They're
East
local.
LA. Yeah,
East LA local based. Yeah, they're really good. We got to try the taco spot right there. Just little shout out there.
Yeah. Another, if we're giving shout outs, then I'm gonna shout out this spot, Birreria Gonzalez, man.
Where's that at?
They have one in East LA. I think they have another. They really, I think, started out in South Central, like off of Maple and Adams. Bomb as fuck. It's like birria de res, so it's not like it's not too gamey, because sometimes the chivo, it tastes a little
gamey.
What
does
little
that
more
exactly
sour.
mean? Gamey.
Gamey. It's just like really lean. So like imagine.
So like turkey.
Kind
Turkey's
of
pretty lean, right?
But a better example would be like rabbit,
venison.
Yeah,
I've had rabbit.
Deer.
Rabbit's kind of like, it tastes like chicken.
Well, it's pretty much
the reason why they call it gamey.
Because like you hunt it.
Because you hunt it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry to cut you off, but yeah, just that's kind of what it is.
But that doesn't. But that just. It still feel like doesn't really describe.
No, but also too because a lot of those animals.
Because you could say like a deer's gamey, and you could say a rabbit's gamey.
Well, a lot of those animals. A lot of those animals that you hunt, they're usually, they're running from predators. So a lot of the times they're not filled with fat or anything. Because a lot of domesticated animals, they're bred to, they fat them up.
Yeah, they fat them up. Like, what's that one thing? Foie
gras, the fucking duck liver.
Yeah.
Where they force feed the duck. That shit is inhumane as fuck.
Oh man, talking about inhumane. The singer of my old band, John. Old band Sons of Jimmy. He, when we used to play, he's still a chef, like a professional chef, runs kitchens. He's really actually very talented. But anyways,
nice.
He worked at a restaurant where they had that on the menu, the foie gras, the duck. And
what is Fargua? What is it?
It's like a duck that it's kind of like veal or where they like
no, it's duck. It's duck.
it's
liver.
duck, but they like force feed the duck so that it's really really tender. I guess.
No, dude.
No, I don't know.
Nah,
I guess I don't
foie
know.
gras. That shit is like some shit where they make the duck extremely fat and unhealthy to the point where its liver gets full of nothing but fat. So then instead of fucking it having a healthy liver, it becomes like this mushy kind of fucking big, like it's
super
like
tender almost.
it's like creamy almost. I
Oh,
feel
shit.
like
Yeah.
it's like it's just fucking.
Yeah.
It's pretty nasty to me. Like think about, I've never tasted it before because I've never been to a restaurant that's like I guess as brutally high class as to fucking.
Well,
serve that
so
shit,
what I
you
was
know?
gonna say
Brutally
was
high
this
class.
restaurant that he worked at, they had it on the menu, but what happened is, I don't know if it was like an animal rights group but somebody took him to court, took the restaurant to court to get it off the menu, and the owner of the restaurant fought it, and they went to court and they won, and they won to keep it on the menu.
Yeah, because
And I went to his spot, and I mean like, it wasn't necessarily like high class. It was definitely like, it's not like, it was like
it ain't fast food.
it ain't fast food for sure, but it was like, what would be a good example? You ever been to 38 Degrees on in Alhambra? It was like that level of restaurant.
Okay, so it's casual, but it's
Casual.
Still,
they have like a good
I would say-
selection of beers, a really good bar, but like you could walk in with flip flops.
Yeah, I would say
and
it's like middle class.
Still more of like a chill environment.
Right.
Yeah.
And they had like
And that's
like-
probably why someone had a fucking problem with
Yeah.
it going there, because it's like, dude, what the fuck? Like it's
Yeah.
just there's certain things that like I feel they're I mean, all fucking flesh eating and shit. I like meat and shit. I eat fucking steaks and fucking pork chops, bacon and shit. That's all like animal cruelty in some sense and shit. If you think about it in
bacon's good.
yeah,
Pork
it's
chops are
fucking
good.
delicious. I don't fuck with turkey bacon, man. It's just
I know how. You know what? Turkey bacon, you want to fuck with it because bacon is so bad for you, but it just ain't the
it
same.
don't scratch that itch.
Yeah, it
the
don't.
same way.
It doesn't.
don't
you know?
scratch
You can't.
that itch.
You can't.
You
Render.
know?
It doesn't render the fat the
Right.
way bacon does.
I feel like fucking coconut bacon tastes
know-
more like fucking bacon than turkey bacon.
coconut
bacon.
bacon. Was that made of coconut?
No, it's made of fucking oranges. Of course, it's made of coconut.
But like entirely made of coconut.
Yeah, dude.
I thought it maybe was like coconut flavored.
No, like they make fucking.
I thought they fed the
they
pig
make-
coconut.
I thought they fed
They,
him coconut.
they like make this like vegan coconut and shit out of fucking bacon. It's pretty good. Tasted it before.
Fascinating. The last podcast we spent a good amount of time talking about food.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, well, fuck.
Yeah,
change
food
the
is
shit.
good,
Hey,
though, dude.
food
I
week,
love
bro.
eating,
Food
dude.
month.
I love eating, man.
Well,
Hey,
you
I
were gonna
wanted
bring
to-
something up, right?
I wanted to bring
Yeah.
something up. Yeah. And I was gonna bring it up. I didn't know that you were actually coming in because that was kind of a last minute thing. And
True
I'm
that.
glad you're here because I know you have a lot to say about this. So
Oh shit.
I was on YouTube and like, I came across a video that was called 10 Disneyland Conspiracies. So like things about the park that are like conspiracies or rumors, blah 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 blah. Theories.
Ooh,
Nothing's been
there's a
proven.
lot of
like
good
the
stuff.
like the slave labor. Supposedly they had actual kids at
Yeah,
small.
well, I have the list right here. So
There's
most of
actually
them-
a spooky theory about that one, but go ahead.
Well, I have the list right here, and like some of them are not that like big. Like right here, like no beards. Like early on, they didn't let people have like beards. You couldn't have a beard at Disneyland if you worked there.
Well,
Yeah.
that was a lot of businesses that had guest services, like where they worked with the public. Because Music Center not until recently
Right.
have they allowed us.
Yeah,
to
they've
really
they've
grow our facial
kind of
hair.
lightened up because
Yeah.
they used to really be on our asses about having
And I
long
remember
facial hair.
there's a reason for that is that they're just trying to get with the times. They're trying to be more modern.
Right.
Yeah.
Because now the modern society, men are allowed to grow their beards, whereas before clean shaven was seen as the norm or the social, I guess, like right thing
yeah.
to do. You know?
Like the social standard of
Right.
of what the help should look like. Because like I think about it as like all
Well,
right,
actually, what it said in the video, why they can't have beards, because at the time Disneyland opened in 1955, right? So that means the early days of Disneyland were right through the 60s, which was the hippie movement. So Disneyland, who wanted to maintain a wholesome reputation,
didn't want
family friendly, at that time, beards were associated with hippies and beatniks who were like
weed smokers.
Yeah, like anti-establishment, blah 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 blah. So you couldn't have, because if you had a beard, you were pretty much labeled a hippie. So that's why they said like that's kind of why they pushed it. But they say that even now, like even though you can have facial hair, like they still keep you at like you got to keep it clean cut.
Oh yeah,
and this and that, and that they're still accused of like sort of catering to this family persona that they kind of don't deserve. That's what the video said. They don't deserve. Or some people say,
they don't
deserve
I
it.
feel like they don't, because one, they're exploiting fucking families with like making shit so expensive and shit.
Right. Well, listen to this. Okay, go. Sorry.
Oh no. Then the other thing is
Talking
like,
about
it teaches kids.
Yeah.
It like all of the fucking stories, man. Like they're broken down households.
Yeah.
There's no fucking like. You can probably count on like maybe 2 fingers and shit. The movies where you have both fucking family unit, both parental family units in the household. Or if they do, then one gets taken away, kind of like the Lion King.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you say that, because another one they talked about was how a lot of Disney movies don't have mothers in them, and why. Like a lot of time the mothers get killed off.
Can you name one that still has a mother in it?
Well, what's funny is Lion King is the only one where the dad gets killed and the mom is the one who stays alive. Which
there's one that
I never even thought about that.
In it. There is one that
which
have
one?
2 parents in it. The 101 Dalmatians. Pongo
and the
okay. They stay together. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So the reason why they say though that Dumbo gets separated from his mom.
Bambi, mom dies.
Little Mermaid doesn't have a mom. Aladdin, Jasmine doesn't have a mom.
Yeah. Well, the Little Mermaid also turns into fucking algae and sea foam and shit.
Right. There's a long list of movies where like mother figures are not dominant in the movie. They say the why, supposedly, or actually not supposedly, this is a fact. Walt Disney, when he got rich and made a lot of money, bought his parents a house, like somewhere, I don't know where, but the house had faulty gas. It had a gas leak, and the mom ended up dying from gas poisoning. Yeah, so she ended up dying. So Walt Disney blamed himself. Because he's the one who bought the house, and he should have made sure that it was up to standard, and you know what I'm saying? So he blamed him, and not to mention he was really close to his mom, so he blamed himself.
So he
had a lot
constantly
of guilt.
reminded himself in his movies.
Well, no,
he didn't want to have mothers.
He didn't want to have mothers in the movie to not remind himself of the mom. So he's almost like he erased. He just didn't want a constant reminder of his mother, so he would like omit mothers from like stories
and forever brainwash a generation of fucking generations of children and shit.
I love Disney movies. I don't feel brainwashed.
Well, listen to this. So they talked about another one saying Disney being accused of mind control. So they talked about like I'm sure
imagery.
Most people know about like the imagery that's left in like Disney movies, like a lot of sexual imagery. But they say like but that. Even that can kind of just be left up to like disgruntled animators who are gonna be like, I'm gonna fuck with Disney because
there is one that's been
the Little Mermaid and the Rescuers.
What were we gonna say, Filo?
I was gonna talk about the Little Mermaid one where it was the animators that were upset. There was an animator who got fired, so he pretty much put a fucking big dick on the castle, and then there is one that I noticed, and it was really weird. I don't know. I mean, it could be left up to interpretation, but we were at Disneyland, me, Ash, and Ethan, and we were right there waiting in line for Peter Pan. And in the line, there's 2 rides that you can see. There's Sleeping Beauty. I mean, no, sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm just the camera.
Okay. There's a Snow White, and I think Pinocchio. That you can see from across. And on the Snow White one, there's like a pillar. There's like a wood, and they're all wood because they're all meant to look like fantasy, like old, like medieval, fucking whatever it is, fantasy lands. And there's a piece of wood there, and in the design they have like shit cut out, right? In the design, there's one that just looks like it's like a big dick, dude. Like,
Fuck.
yeah.
Where is this at? In the
Fantasyland.
Fantasyland in the dark ride of Snow White.
I wouldn't doubt it.
On the front though, in the front of the entrance, there's like a wood right there. Like if we go, I could point it out to you guys and be like, look at that.
But here's the thing.
I don't think I'm gonna go to Disneyland just so I can see that wooden dick.
Hey, well, Disneyland's fun, and now they have drinks at Star Wars Land. So
Yeah,
let's go.
that's I was my brother was taking my niece to Disneyland this week for the first time, and he was saying like, let's roll, and I was like, I'm a little short on cash, And he's like, oh, come on, man, it'll be fun. Like we can get drunk, this and that. Yeah. I'm like, you can only get drunk at California Adventure, and you have a daughter.
Well, yeah, there's
you have
that.
a 2-year-old.
Hey,
no,
look.
no. I was fucking. But he did say like, oh, we could catch a buzz. It'll be a good time, And I was like, well, you can only get drunk in California Adventure, and they were like, no, Star Wars Land, bro. Booze and Star Wars, my 2 favorite things.
Yeah. I mean, shit. Me and Ash are thinking about planning a trip in December.
Let's roll. I'm down, man. I'm down, big.
Hey, man, you know what?
What's that?
Call me fucked up, but like, I'm okay with telling my kids that that Disneyland is the fucking Disney store at the mall and shit, like, or the fucking Disney
actually,
store.
that's good.
Like,
That's good because in the beginning I fucked up with that too, and I took Ethan when he was young, so he's accustomed to it now.
Yeah.
So for him, like, Disney, if I mention Disneyland, like he's like, "Whoa, we're gonna like," even offhand, like if I tell Ashley, like, remember that time at Disneyland, and he'll be like, "Disneyland," like he'll get crazy, like, dude,
what,
like,
Disneyland?
Yeah.
They'll wake you up like 4 in the morning, like, Daddy,
Yeah.
we still going to Disneyland? We going to Disneyland?
Dude, one time I told him just recently I took him for his birthday last March, and we stayed at a hotel, made a big thing about it, right? Because he turned 5, so we're like, let's make a big thing about it.
Bad move.
It was fun though for all of us. I got reservations so we had a nice dinner and everything. It wasn't just for Ethan. I made it a whole thing for both me and Ash. And
it was a family affair.
Yeah. So, but all the way leading up to it for a whole month, he was waking us up like exactly how you said, waking us up, and he wasn't going to school yet either. So he was waking us up like that. Are we going to Disney? Are we going to Disneyland tomorrow? Are we going? And I was like, no, man, go to sleep. We got a month. We got 2 weeks. We got 1 week. Like, fuck.
Oh, that's hilarious. Tell you, it's like
we going to the mall.
No, Disney is like crack for children.
Yeah.
What's funny is when my brother was little younger than Ethan, more like 3-ish, 3, 4-ish. He would always want to go to McDonald's, because my dad would take us to McDonald's every once in a while. So what was funny is like, every time we were in the car, my dad was driving us. Every time we were in the car, and we'd pass a McDonald's, and my brother would see it, he would go, "Dad, I'm hungry." He would always say, "Hey, I'm hungry. Let's go to McDonald's." He would and eventually, my dad caught on. He was like, "How come every time we pass McDonald's,
you're hungry?
You're always hungry all of a sudden?" And he's all like, "Play place, play place, play place,
ice cream."
No, but I was gonna say, talking about, all the imagery, right? Like, that still doesn't mean that the corporation Disney is mind controlling. It could still be saying, just animators or designers going off the rails just to troll, right?
But they're the ones that approve it.
True,
they're the ones that approve the final cut.
But I mean, like, if an artist, is hard to find. Yeah, it's hard to find. You really have to kind of look at it, and even then, it could just be misconstrued. The I see what it wants.
I mean, just like he just said, the what is it? Was it the Rescuers or the
the Rescuers Down Under? The porn in the background.
No, the first one. The first one.
Not Down Under. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Where that shit goes by, like, it's within seconds.
It's like one frame.
Yeah, it's fucking a millisecond.
So you can't see that unless you pause. Like, so whoever found it,
your brain sees it though. Like
I agree with.
Your brain sees it. It's like you don't comprehend it, but your brain
that I agree with. But if you're not an animator, you're not like trained to look for some of this stuff, and you're just approving this movie, like, okay, you're running through it. And, who knows how many movies you're running through at the time, too. Yeah. You could miss something like that. So it's not completely Disney's fault. It's like you said, it could be an animator who just went off the rail.
Was Rescuers, though, that I don't...
Rescuers Down Under was the sequel. I think
that wasn't Disney, though.
Rescue Down Under? Yeah,
it was Disney?
Yeah, it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was...
Oh, shit.
So, what I was going to say, though, but what they say that in Disneyland Park, they use, like, smell-alyzers, so where they pump out aromas
Yeah.
to make people want to buy the food. They pump up the smell, you know.
It's funny you say that too, because the water too. And I remember as a kid always loving that smell of the water. Like that's probably one of the main reasons why I like going on a Small World, because of the smell from the water. And I just found out that they use a special chemical to clean their water that also, because they don't want to just use chlorine, because chlorine obviously has a bad smell, and you associate it with bad chemicals and stuff.
Right.
So they try to find this chemical, and I forgot what they call it, but it's a secret ingredient that they won't give out to other, like, because people try to buy it and they're like, nope, we're not giving it out. So you will only smell this at Disneyland. So the next time you go to Disneyland, if you smell the water, that water will stay with you, because it's the only place you'll smell that kind of.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I
so
remember,
smell-o-vision.
Yes,
it's all in the process.
and then get this: the store, that big store on Main Street where they have like all kinds of different shit. That they make the store really, really cold. They pump up the AC so that they can make people buy sweaters because they get cold. Like, buy a sweater. So like different like so they say, could you consider this quote unquote mind control? Because you're essentially like incepting.
Well, I think you're just kind of leading people to buy that
like
stuff,
right? You're persuading people.
But
But you're persuading them unknowingly. It's not like you're saying, hey, I really want to sell you the sweater. You're trying to make them decide on their own that they're going to buy the sweater.
But they do that everywhere. They do that at 7-Eleven. They do that at fucking at the market. They always put shit as soon as you walk in the door. That's like kind of like like you'll smell it. Like there's always like usually some flowers or some fucking like random shit there where you can fucking like smell and shit.
Yeah.
Or I forgot this is like tactic. It's like marketing and shit. Like they fucking design stores a certain way. They've been going as far as this company called Muzak that was back in the days. They used to pretty much they came up with the idea that if you hear certain sounds and certain frequencies, then you'll do your job better. So there was this company, they used to play their music for like office jobs. It's like elevator music and shit. You know what I mean? It like helps you pass the time.
That's funny, because don't you do that?
What?
You play music that you feel that makes you work better when we're working setup.
Oh, it just softens the blow of the monotony of the
but
job.
It kind of goes hand in hand with Jrat just said.
But now they go as far as like if something in the market is on sale and shit, right? Like let's say it's some like carne asada is on sale at the market. They'll play some Spanish sounding shit with a Spanish melody. If they're trying to sell like fucking beef stroganoff frozen dinners and shit, they'll play some fucking Russian music in the background. So they are kind of like subliminally
it's very subtle.
Getting
it's like
you.
Yeah, like you kind of like the same thing. Like when you go into New Orleans Square, they got the jazz band playing. They got the fucking smell of chowder in the air and sweet and savory smells going through the air, and it invokes like a feeling where you feel really comfortable and you feel really like festive and you want to be like, oh well, let's indulge.
Casinos kind of, they do the same thing in Vegas. They pump oxygen.
Is there any better feeling than walking from outside in 110-degree weather into the casino and the way that you get that blast of AC?
Dude, hell yeah, dude.
Oh my God.
And I love that.
Orgasmic.
In Vegas.
Like,
it's
lung gas.
I love how the casinos are connected on a certain part of Vegas Boulevard, so you don't have to walk through. You have the choice to walk through the sidewalk, but you can walk through the casinos. The only bad part about that is you have to navigate through the fucking slot machines.
Yeah.
But anyway, they do.
You hear that shit?
You know what they do is they make the slot machines smell like money, so that you can.
No,
I was about to say what?
Because that shit was fucking stink.
Yeah, but
money's dirty.
But they do pump oxygen and also certain aromas like perfume. So like you'll smell. So a lot of casinos you'll smell. Like flower fragrances, and they've done research on what fragrances will make you sit there longer. Fragrances. What smells will make you. Which fragrances will make you sit there and just sit comfortably and make you concentrate on the game and spend more money into and put more money into slot machines or whatever you're playing. Yeah. So it's not just Disneyland who does this shit.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
everything.
Yeah,
It's
for
fucking
sure.
marketing. It's part of marketing.
So
hey, well, before you get in
Uh-huh.
on anything else, I remembered some shit. And like, remember you were saying like why Lion King is the only one who the dad gets killed?
because
Because
Kimba.
they stole that shit
Yeah,
from fucking
the
Kimba.
white lion, Kimba the white
Exactly.
lion. No man, that could be a whole other podcast.
Right.
But
My fault.
I'm sure we could go down that rabbit hole. But
Back
so
to your
this is-
local subject.
So there was. Have you guys ever heard of Club 33?
Yes. I have.
Okay.
I've seen
The
the door.
Disneyland?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
It's hard to find, kind of.
it's very hard to find.
Yeah.
So in the video, they bring up Club 33, and the rumor is that it's a Masonic
33rd
lodge,
degree Mason.
and that you can't get in unless they say it's a Freemason Masonic lodge. $100,000 initiation fee, so you have to pay.
And then on top of that, you're on a waiting list, right?
So
Yeah.
somebody has to die.
So this is why I wanted to bring this up, and,
Yeah.
and then, we're coming on an hour, so I guess we could end on this. I've been inside Club 33. I went inside once.
What?
Mm-hmm. I went inside once when I was about 11 years old.
How'd you get in there?
I'll tell you exactly how I got in there.
Well,
Remember
come
how
on.
I-
Get tell us. Goddamn
Remember
it.
how I told you that before my mom started her own safety company,
Uh-huh.
she worked for 3 other safety companies. Now, safety, what they do is they're safety vendors. They sell PPE, hard hats, glasses.
Somebody's gonna snipe
PP
you right
and
now.
poo-poo.
They're
Yeah,
like,
PPE, personal protective equipment, all the shit we use on setup.
Yeah.
Gloves and glasses and hard hats and all kinds of shit. That's big business because it's required by law that companies that do dangerous work need these things. So so there's a big. It's like insurance almost. There's always going to be business.
It's part of the
'cause,
OSHA fucking
it's part of
regulation.
OSHA, this and that. Okay, so these people that my mom used to work for were big ballers. They had a lot of money. So she worked for this one guy. I remember his name, but I probably shouldn't say his name.
Yeah, don't even fucking
Nah.
say
But
I
he
don't
had a
even
lot. So
care.
anyways, he had. I guess he
He's a
was a
member?
member. I guess he was a member. And my mom, who worked in sales, was, I guess, doing good numbers. So he said, "Oh, I'm gonna give you a guest pass, and you're gonna go, and you're gonna, on my behalf, I'm gonna put your names in, and you're gonna be able
That's
to get
kind of
in."
like what people do with the founders room at the Disney or
Right.
the pavilion. They'll
Yep.
they'll put their name down, and be like, oh, he's showing up
Yeah.
for so and so.
So,
Did he pay for the food too, or
no,
did you have to?
no,
mom
no,
had to pay.
no. The food was not comped. At least I don't think it was.
How old were you?
I was about 11 years old.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
fucking know.
Yeah, so I don't know if what really financial decisions my parents.
How did
made.
it look in there?
Okay, I'll tell you exactly because I remember it like
It was yesterday?
Because you know why? Because I remember, like you said, when you're a kid, anytime you hear Disneyland, you're like, "Oh, Disneyland!"
Yeah.
Ah. Especially because when I was a little boy, my parents took me when I was little kid. So same thing. Like it was like Disneyland was like the ultimate. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So one day we're getting ready. We're putting on like church clothes, like fucking ties and fucking nice dresses. And where are we going? And my dad says, "We're going to Disneyland." Whoa, oh shit. He goes, "What?"
11-year-old. Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Holy fuck.
What the fuck?
Fuck.
Are you fucking kidding me, Dad? And
You're the shit.
Dad, you're the motherfucking shit. Yeah.
Don't fucking play with me, Dad.
Don't play with me, motherfucker. Do not play with me, you goddamn slanderizing son of a bitch.
Oh, shit.
This Candyland, motherfuckers.
Candyland, motherfucker. Oh, sweet Jesus, please let me kill this motherfucker. No, but I remember because then he hits me with this curveball. He hits me with this curveball.
Uh-huh.
He goes, "We're going into Disneyland. We're going into the park." He goes, "But we can't get on any rides. We're not going to Disneyland. We're going to a restaurant inside Disneyland. We're only allowed to go to the restaurant. We can't get on rides.
Wow.
We're gonna get an escort to the restaurant." And I was like, "What?
Yeah,
I'm like, what are you talking about? What? How could we go inside Disneyland and not go to Disneyland? We're already inside."
Yeah.
We're already here.
What the shit? So
You don't understand that. 11,
yeah,
11
no,
year old.
like I don't get it.
Your
So,
dad really should have told you, like, look,
Yeah.
man, your mom's been doing good. She
Yeah.
got in with the right people.
Look,
They fucking Freemasons.
He's like-
So we going to get in this
he
lodge.
goes, "I know we're living in the 2 back rooms of your grandparents' house, okay, but that doesn't mean we can't do nice things." No, but
So you went. What did it look like?
Okay,
what did
so
it
we
look
go.
like?
It's in New Orleans Square. Down that little, there's like a little like
You can
know,
see the boat
pathway.
and shit, right, from the windows or some shit. Like I heard that you can see like there's a view.
No. That's the Pirates of the Caribbean, Blue Bayou.
Yeah.
Where
So
you
it's in between the exit.
It's upstairs.
Yeah. But no, but the entrance is at the exit. So like where the Blue Bayou entrance is at, it's like somewhere around there. But the door is like very camouflaged. So it's kind of hard to see it unless you know what you're looking for.
So I remember we go and we get in. I don't even know if we walked through the entrance. I can't remember, but there was a door. It was just a door. There wasn't anything like signaling. There wasn't like a sign. It was just
it a nice door or was it like a fucking random
door? It was a white door with it looked like every other door that led to nowhere. Because all those, you know what I'm saying? It said this was the only door. It was a real door, and it had a 33 next to it.
All right.
Totally unnoticeable if you weren't looking for it. And I remember being afraid. I was afraid. I got really scared to go in because it was so secretive, and it was so like hush hush, like that my parents made it apparent like this is like we're going somewhere where not a lot of people get to go, whatever. And I kid you not, I remember my logic is, did you guys ever see that movie American Werewolf in Paris? Remember it came out in the 90s? It was a remake of American Werewolf in London.
Yeah,
remember? Okay, so do you remember the movie? There's like a nightclub where it's underground, and it's like popping, and then what happens is all these people go to the nightclub, and then they lock the door, and then like a bunch of people turn into werewolves, and they eat everybody, right?
Kind of like what they stole Blade from, too.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
exactly,
like Blade,
pretty much. So, I remember in the movie that it was just a door. It was like an alleyway, and then it was just a door, and it was just just a door, and then you go into the door, and I remember the fact that this was just a door that I for some reason I thought that monsters were gonna like come out and like
Disney monsters.
Yeah, I don't know. That was my logic. Okay,
you're the happiest fucking place on earth.
So I was actually afraid to go in. That was why I was afraid.
Shit, it's Maleficent.
So we go inside. And there's a maitre d', and and I don't know if I'm making this up, if I'm just remembering it, but he had like a podium, and I swear to God it was made of gold. And he's right there, and he's got his tux on.
The whole podium?
Well, probably not. It was a heavy ass podium.
A lot of gold.
Okay. But I remember that there was you would walk up the staircase, but there was also an elevator, glass elevator with like gold trimmings, and it was up. And I remember like I'd never seen an elevator like that. So,
did the maitre d' have a deep ass voice? Like,
I don't remember.
Welcome to 33.
And so the elevator has gold trimming on it, and then there's a staircase, and I don't remember I think the elevator was like forever in the up position. So, like, I remember walking up the stairs, but I think we may have taken the elevator down when we left the restaurant. Anyways,
so you don't remember if you went up in the elevator or if you
no,
came down
because I remember when we were standing at the bottom, the elevator was up already. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
So, I don't know. It was a long time ago. But I remember, like, going in, and everything was just like, wow. It was like a movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything was like, wow. There's shit this extravagant, like you see in movies. So, we go upstairs, we go to the restaurant, everyone's like us, or dressed like they're going to church, they got their Sunday's best on or whatever, and we ate dinner, and it was a normal restaurant, and then we left. And I remember like
what did the furniture look like?
Yeah,
fuck, dude, I remember like everything was kind of white. Everything was white.
Was it like bright in there, or was it like
it was
dim?
bright? No, it was bright.
And
there was like bus boys with bow ties, and it was normal. And I remember the scariest thing in there was the goddamn fucking prices. I think like the kids, I got like a kid's chicken fingers. That shit was like $18.
Oh,
and this is like this is like 2001. That's
right.
Already almost 20 years ago.
Yeah,
so that,
where like $1 could get you a fucking.
Would you say it's more extravagant than the Pavilion Founders?
Oh, yes, but like similar vibe, kind of old school. Like it feels very much. It's kind of like like what pops into my mind is the Titanic.
Okay, like so it takes you back to like the 19.
Yeah, remember how everything like it's like
30s of fucking.
So did it still feel Disney-esque?
No.
Did it feel like you stepped into a different?
Yeah, it was like there was almost nothing Disney affiliated except I think like on the kids menu.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I remember correctly, the chicken fingers were shaped like or tried to made to shape like Mickey, kind of like they had Mickey ears. Or maybe it just was called like Mickey's chicken fingers. But other than that, like it was really an adult place. It was meant for like adults. It wasn't.
And they sold alcohol in there. Or do you know?
I don't remember all that. I'm sure they did, but I remember like there being sort of a feeling of like, oh man, like this is really expensive.
We made it.
So I don't know. You know, I would actually be curious to ask my parents about that because I'm sure they remember and I'm sure they have a better memory.
Yeah, you should ask them.
And then when you left,
yeah.
So you said you weren't allowed in the park. Did you
guys
get into the park?
Well, you have to enter through New Orleans.
No, yeah,
Square,
but what I'm saying is, did they just say, okay, you guys are okay to go?
Yeah, I forget. I don't remember, dude. To be honest with you, I don't remember. I just remember entering and seeing the elevator, and then also being upstairs and like
maybe they hit you
really
with the
fancy.
Men in Black neuralizer.
I mean, but then why not just erase my entire memory? I mean, like my entire.
No, it only wants you to promote it.
Yeah,
oh.
Yeah, it only works if you don't do bad things in your life.
Right. Wow. So I mean, you know, it didn't. I don't remember anything being particularly Masonic, but at the same time, like I'm sure it was marked that we were guests of. So if there was anything, then we're gonna let us know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So anyways,
they hit you with the neuralizer. You guys had a good time. Punch was served.
Everything was punch was served. We were invited. Punch was served.
Man, you know when I hear
everyone was on vacation.
When I hear a restaurant like that, I'm thinking like the butter's gonna come out shaped like Mickey.
Nah,
with the fucking bread.
It's really
out.
it's not. It's almost like meant to be thought separately.
Yeah,
of Disney.
Now it makes more sense.
Yeah, just the fact that it's in Disneyland is just kind of adds to its status.
You know it kind of sounds like Carthay Circle in California Adventure. When I took Ethan and we made reservations, I made reservations at Carthay Circle, and it's the same thing because it's meant to look like a Hollywood 1930s, 1940s or whatever. So upstairs, it's very similar to what you're kind of explaining, except minus the gold trim.
Right.
But same thing, elevator. You take the stairs. We took.
How did you get in?
We made reservations.
Yeah, but see, you can't get into.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, though, it sounds similar. Where, but it's still casual dining. Yeah. But it was kind of weird because we were like the brownest people in there.
For sure.
And then we go in there, and I think I told you before, like as soon as we walked in, they're taking us to our table. It was almost like somebody hit the record and was like, yeah. And then and now everyone's like looking at us.
Yeah.
You hear all the fucking glassware, silverware.
But it was a nice fucking experience, and it was great.
Yeah. My parents are relatively light skinned. They don't look white, but they're relatively light skinned. So I don't recall like that feeling or, you know. But I don't know. I was a young kid, and I was just obsessed with the fact that we were in Disneyland. You know, that was like the big thingy.
You know, but you know why they have a restaurant there, and now it's like completely separate from Disneyland, but it's in Disneyland. It's just to show dominance.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's a
show
symbol,
that it's a symbol of their power.
It's just the fact that like exactly. It's just a sense of status. It's a status thing. But why I brought it up is because I was watching this video about conspiracies, and they brought up Club 33 and how like it's that it's thought that it's a Masonic lodge, and because it's so secretive and it's impossible to get in, and you have to pay $100,000 to get in, that nobody's in there because no one can confirm whether it is or whether it isn't.
So if you go missing in the next couple of days, we'll know why.
Right. Well, I mean, I know maybe I was sworn to like an oath or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't remember.
Did any one of your parents disappear for a little while you guys were having dinner and then come back? Like, all right, guys, we're good for the rest of our lives. Like,
we set. But yeah, so when I saw the video, I was like, well, I've actually been inside, so it's kind of just normal, just very expensive for some reason.
Fine dining,
I guess. But I mean, like, it can't be that fine dining if they're bringing out fries and chicken fingers for the kids, you know?
Yeah.
So I guess it probably started out as something ritualistic, and then it became
a little bit more like
just
mainstream.
to show fucking rich people status, like
yeah.
You know, give rich people that higher status.
Well, that's the whole reason why we have the founders at the music center.
Exactly.
Also too, and this could be coincidence, maybe not, but the number 33,
the 33rd degree Mason.
Yeah, 333 is the highest ranking Freemason. So like, you know, that could just be a coincidence, therefore it just snowballs. You know what I'm saying? Because like masonry and everything, it's so much about symbols. All religion and teachings are relied on symbols. Anyways, so that's my Club 33 story. Nothing extravagant, but it did happen.
Right. I mean, if he got in,
yeah. I mean, they let us in, and it's what's funny is the guy who my mom worked for, who got us in. He's like, I don't know, maybe not, but I remember hearing later, a couple years later, like after my mom had left and moved on to another company, that he had actually gone bankrupt and lost like everything.
Oh, poor guy.
Maybe he's since bounced back. Like he got a divorce. Remember, like this guy, like he had like a hot blonde wife, like a total like
sugar baby
wife of like a housewives of Hollywood and stuff, and he lived near Dana Point, and he had like a mansion, and he had a pool, and he had like this view of like the mountains and the freeways, and like.
Damn, was it Tony Stark?
No, he just had a lot of money, and so he would.
Stay with him after.
No, well, I heard that. I heard later like that he got a divorce, and like his company went bankrupt, and like he had to like sell all his assets and everything. Yeah, crazy.
You know why?
I'm sure he's.
Do you know why?
No,
because he fucking let outsiders in Club 33.
Right? He thought he was cool. He thought he was untouchable.
He was trying to fucking show off, and he fucked himself over, man.
Take that fucking coat off.
Shit. Anyways.
You have lost your Masonic stripes.
Let's wrap this up.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. Wow, Jrat, thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Jrat.
Honestly,
always a pleasure.
Yeah, fuck, it went by pretty quick. I was kind of into our conversation. I really wasn't even paying attention to how long.
I love tacos.
Man,
tacos.
Yeah, I love tacos too.
And Freemasonry. Not a bad podcast, I'd say.
And I still love Disneyland.
And Disneyland.
And
Disney movie.
Yeah, I just got a soft spot for Disneyland.
You know what? Like I was boycotting it for so long, but my son's now into the Lion King, like the old one. Yeah. The cartoon one.
And your wife's gonna be like, yo, fuck all your bullshit. We're taking the kids to Disneyland.
Yeah.
I'll give a
eventually,
fuck.
Honestly, dude.
Eventually. No, but she's on the same page with me.
Freemasons? Man, oh well, we going.
Yeah.
Yes, dear.
Okay, dear.
For sure.
Sugar booger.
She's like, and you paying, motherfucker.
Happy wife, happy life.
Hey, man, for sure.
You know what? Like, I love her.
I met your wife. She's nice lady.
Yeah,
very
she
nice.
is. All right, man. Well, on that note, my wife's a really, really lovely woman.
Yes,
and I love her.
And you're gonna pay for the tickets to Disneyland?
Man, I'm not gonna promise that. She hasn't even asked for it.
Yeah.
You know, like. But
I mean, hey, one day you might strike it rich.
If it happens,
and you could pay $100,000 initiation fee and get into Club 33.
Man, you know what?
It's not that much money. It probably has gone up since then.
It probably has. Yeah.
You know what? Fucking, this just goes to show that if like people that fucking like really love their children would do anything to make them happy and shit.
For sure, of course.
So
that's very true.
That's where.
You won't understand until you have a child.
Yeah.
I know. I'm out the loop.
Yeah. Fuck.
Well, all right. Wow, fuck Jrat. Thanks for coming on.
For sure, man.
Got anything to promote?
Yeah,
I know you do music, and I know you collab with a lot of people.
JRatMonster.com, the website, Spotify, JRat Monster, all one word, RAT, like vermin. Fucking got some videos that I'm working on coming out soon. Got a couple albums, pretty much with a bunch of other cats. One of my god brother, I'm doing an album with him. Doing an album with the homie Brockham. That's been like a long time waiting. Then I'm also I'm doing another album with one of the other homies from the skate park that I saw grow up.
Is there any like upcoming dates we should know about?
Nah, upcoming dates as far as right now.
Like just anything being released or shows or
I'm gonna probably release another single probably next week.
Nice.
If I can get it, back from, getting mixed down.
I'm excited, dude, because your stuff is really good.
Yeah.
Also
thank you, man. Thank you.
I mean, you were working on a track.
Yes,
that
also
started
that one
doing.
too. I'm doing another.
That's right, me and Jrat.
Little EP. I actually, when I exported the song, I named it the Setup Crew.
The Setup Crew?
Nice.
That could be our hip-hop group.
Where we started.
Yeah.
The Setup Crew.
But then, Sleazy Listening.
Sleazy
that's
Listening is
also,
good.
That could be our band name, too.
Rev Monster.
Nah,
Rev Monster.
No.
Yeah, we can't do the whole the name mix up.
Okay,
It has to be something different, So,
all right.
yeah, either Setup Crew or Sleazy Listening. I don't know. Maybe,
Well,
maybe everybody should
Sleazy
decide.
Listening is like a good like playlist or like album name. Sleazy Listening Part 1.
Yeah, but it could
The
also
hero's
be a
journey.
It could also be a
journey.
self-title. Juan actually Juan Salazar, he was the one yesterday. He told me about it. I was telling him about it. I showed him the song. He was like, man, it's pretty good. You know?
Really?
Like, I've been showing a couple of people. They've been, you know, digging it. And he was like, you know what? I was like, we're thinking of calling the album Sleazy Listening. And he was all like, that's a dope band name.
Sleazy Listening? Yeah, I guess so.
So I was like, oh, okay. I got to give him credit for that, you know?
Yeah. Juan, isn't he draw? What does Juan do?
Salazar?
Yeah.
He does Twitch. He's on Twitch. Check him out.
What is Twitch?
Twitch, just streaming. You stream videos or whatever you want on that. We'll get into that. It's another podcast.
For sure.
I know.
All right. This is the longest outro ever.
I know.
All right, guys.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for listening. We'll be back next week.
See you guys.
Peace. Hey, so meanwhile, you got a message for all the ladies out there?
Yeah. First off, I want to ask every single one of the ladies on the planet, and maybe even on other planets if they listening. Only one question, ladies. Y'all want a little meat in your life? Holla at your guala. Thank you, and I'm out.